Mame fa na se ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de o se dem yopo.
Yeah, Mr. Jesse. Good. The decision is a good one. It's a good one, but the fight was not just about retaining the prosecutorial powers. The fight is whether the OSP one should always go for a new permission. Let's use ordinary words, a new authorization,
right,
or a new permission in starting every case. So from the conclusion the Supreme Court read, it means that they didn't state that for every case you should go and collect authorization. We didn't hear that. Remember, we are yet to get a full judgment. But then, even though that wasn't stated, there is a key part that the Supreme Court held that it's only the Attorney General who has the power to prosecute. And so the responsibility for prosecution lies with him. So it means that at any point, the Attorney General can write to the OSP to tell him that, look, I hear you are doing this one and this one, stay off it. And if the OSP refuses and even goes to court to file such a thing, the AG can go to court and stop it. And that's very good for us because now Special Prosecutor Kisié Jabin can be held in check. Remember, this whole lawsuit arose because he would not obey the Attorney General. He was deluding himself that the office is very independent of the Attorney General. This is what started the whole lawsuit. He was deluding himself. He and one other officer saying that no, they are totally independent, which is false. And so when we're trying to do the Eduboah hearing case, the Attorney General asked for the file, and the Special Prosecutor refused and was frustrating the Attorney General. So this lawsuit has now put the Special Prosecutor in his right place, that he's under the Attorney General. Mm-hmm. And so the Attorney General will supervise him, like I was saying before the lawsuit. So it is not just a case that the Special Prosecutor retains prosecutorial powers. The retention was not the fight. The fight was, is he supposed to be supervised by the Attorney General? That is yes, a resounding yes. That's what the Supreme Court is saying. So now it means that anything you see that he's doing which is untoward, then you can report to the Attorney General, his boss, and the Attorney General can put him in his right place. That's very, very important. Let's not forget the High Court decision that the Justice Eugene Nyante gave. The underbelly of it is the abuse of the prosecutorial power. Somebody who is close to the Special Prosecutor was using the Special Prosecutor to prosecute those young men of a matter that should not be prosecuted. That's how come they went to the High Court and got that judgment. Now with the Supreme Court decision, you can expect that those guys will petition the Attorney General over their grievance with Kisié Jabin. And I'm sure that once Dr. Ayene, knowing the fair person that he is, he will stop that prosecution. So the office, with time, Dr. Ayene will check Kisié Jabin to stop using the office, abusing the office. The abuses are what we want to check. Now, Mr. Jesse, I don't know if you are going to ask me this, but because you will not always get an Attorney General who is trustworthy, it means that let's go back to the original advocacy. The original advocacy is that we want an independent office of Special Prosecutor. Sh0cks Prempeh has attempted something in his recommendations. So I would call for a vigorous national debate so that we will see how to flesh it.
Right.
Because you see, when you read the Sh0cks Prempeh report, those are general conclusions. They've not shown the things that we need. We need to be able to hold the Special Prosecutor to account. So anytime now we say independence, we should also be talking about accountability. The fact that somebody is appointed Special Prosecutor doesn't mean that automatically he becomes an angel. No. The current Special Prosecutor's tenure shows you that the Special Prosecutor himself can aid people, like how we aided Oforiatta to travel. Oforiatta fled. You see my arrest, the abuse of the power. So the abuses are what we should be checking. And many other cases. If you read my petition to President Mahama for the removal of Kisi Ejabe, you can just see, you will even take the lead to say you want to remove him yourself. The abuses are too many. They are too many. So this decision by the Supreme Court is an interim measure. It's a welcome relief, but it cannot solve the problem. So let's look at how to reform the law to make the office more independent and more accountable.
Interim relief, you say, but many are also skeptical about this ruling, more so because the Attorney General is a government appointee, is essentially a government's lawyer, and they are raising concerns that there could be an investigation that the OSP is embarking upon, which could include government appointees. Now that the Attorney General has the authority to quash some of these cases that are being investigated by the OSP, how soon or how long should we wait until we get a permanent solution to this?
Excellent. So the conversation has resumed again. You remember, before the Supreme Court took their decision, this is what we're saying. So the HKC Prempeh report, the president says they are going to give their position paper. I can foresee that, that one, the president, they will agree, because we all agree that we need to fight corruption. And can you see? So it means that let's wait. Earlier this week at the UPSA, the 150th anniversary celebration of the Supreme Court, the Vice President mentioned that the government's position paper will be delivered soon. So we hope that that one, it will be upheld, that the office will become independent, but some of the changes we'll be making will be the accountability of the special prosecutor himself. I can just see, from where I said, please, now I'm tired of this statement that just because an Attorney General is a government appointee, he cannot fight corruption. That is a mindset we use. And so we didn't put in checks to check the special prosecutor. We're just thinking that, apart from the Attorney General, if you employ any other lawyer, assuming he qualifies, all the qualifications, as soon as you employ any other lawyer as special prosecutor, he will be independent and he will be an angel. I'm telling you that the way Kisi Ejabe allowed Oforiatta to flee and the other abuses, arresting people and abusing professors, look, the list is endless. Prosecuting by abusing the powers, etc., is a hard lesson to us that we should be thinking, how do we craft a law that, assuming a special prosecutor himself will be aiding and abetting corrupt people, how do you deal with such a special prosecutor? That is how we should be thinking. What law should we put in place that when a special prosecutor comes and is aiding and abetting suspects to flee Ghana, is aiding and abetting certain persons, you prosecute people who are enemies to his friends. All those abuses. That is what we should be thinking. But please, there is no space anymore for saying that just because somebody is an Attorney General appointed by the president, that one is bad. And ipso facto, any other person who is appointed special prosecutor, just because he has the title special prosecutor, then that one is an angel. Please, we've learned our lessons hard way. We've learned it very, very, very costly. You know what the fleeing of Oforiatta out of Ghana has done to our system? This is a very bitter lesson. So let nobody tell me Attorney General is an appointee of the president. No. Look beyond that. What is the character? What law are we going to put in place that the character of the special prosecutor will be held in check so that the right thing will be done? That is where the fight is. Not that somebody is, you will find an Attorney General, though appointed by the president, but he's fair. He's quite fair, and he can be a better person in terms of fairness than a special prosecutor. So let's not dwell on the Attorney General is an appointee of the president. No, that doesn't solve the problem.
Let's narrow it down to Dominic Ayine, the current Attorney General. Looking at all the qualities that you've mentioned, that we need an Attorney General with those qualities to ensure that the checks and balances are put in place at the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Do you think Dominic Ayine is up to the task?
Absolutely. At least for now, I can tell you that Dominic Ayine is up to the task. Once President Mahama is giving him the backing, he will deliver. Yes, Ayene is up to the task. And you see, it's not just do I think. It's a, we've known Ayene for decades. Ayene was my teacher as far back as sometime 1999. Then I went to law school, etc. And you know, the legal community is a small community. So Jesse, it's not everything I can tell you, but all of us, we know our characters behind the scenes, what people will say. So when you say Kpebu, behind the scenes, that's what they'll tell you. Oh, Kpebu is like this, like this. So I need to behind his back to say, oh, he's like this, he's like this. But when you put everything together.
Hello, Martin, do I have you?
You rank Ayene 5 prosecutor.
Right, carry on.
So the right person to supervise Kisei Jabe at this time.
Okay, let's look at the Office of the Special Prosecutor.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir. Can you hear me too? Hello, Martin, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, let's look at the Office of the Special Prosecutor.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's look at the Office of the Special Prosecutor now. Do you feel that the approach in which they tackle some cases will change because they would want to be careful? Or do you think that they will be gagged and will try to abandon some cases because they know that when they try to follow those cases, they will eventually be quashed by the Attorney General? Do you think the approach to cases will now change?
Yes, in a positive manner. The approach will change in a positive manner because the ones that he is abusing the office, doing prosecutions to help his friends, etc., he will be careful because he knows that when he takes on a person like that, the person can petition the Attorney General and the Attorney General can look into it. I don't see gagging. Look, what will happen is that, you know, yes, of course, I won't say Dominic Ayene is an angel. So assuming maybe there's a special case that Dominic Ayene too has an interest in it and he wants it not prosecuted, always remember that that is why, Ken Jesse, you are occupying your seat. The media, the fourth estate, Ghana has a very vibrant media. So hopefully that thing will be leaked. It will be leaked. That case will be leaked to the media. Like Kisei Jabe is trying to prosecute this person, and yet the Attorney General is stonewalling, etc. So then the media will deal with it, and the consequences will be brutal. So I think that this is fair in the interim because, as I've stated, we are now going to attempt to. So we should make do with the current situation where Ayene will do the supervision. It's not bad, at least. Yes, I think for now, I have no cause to doubt Ayene. No, I don't have. Of course, but we also know that he's human. So, look, JC, let's speak bluntly. We are not saying that out of 100 cases, it will never happen that maybe there's one that Ayene too may have a soft spot. But it's a scale. You see, let's be careful. We are not saying any of us is an angel. It's a scale. So that's why I said that we all have our reputations behind our backs, what people say. Ayene will be okay. It's a scale. It's a scale of the abuse. So for now, because we are human, that's why I say let's take this one for now. And then we can continue to clamor for the law reform so that in the new constitution, the special prosecutor will be truly independent of the Attorney General. But the special prosecutor too will be accountable to the citizens. We want to put in place things that will ensure that the special prosecutor is not a thing God. Look, Ken Jesse, do you know that as we speak, well, I don't know about the last 2 weeks, but do you know that for over a year, the Office of Special Prosecutor, there's no board. Ken Jesse, your company has a board of directors. Special prosecutor, there's no board for over a year. So Kisei Jabe is running the show alone. It's not happy to have a board. It's not happy to have a board. You have no idea. You see, this Supreme Court decision is a welcome relief. For over 1 year, the Office of Special Prosecutor has no board because the Special Prosecutor doesn't want a board. He doesn't want a board. He wants to run the show by himself. And we see that, meanwhile, we can't trust him because he allowed Oforiatta to flee. Apart from that, when the Oforiatta case was even presented to him, for over 1 year, he didn't investigate it. He sat on it. He was suppressing the case. Jesse, in case Ghanaians have forgotten, we can Google. You'll find the diary of action that Manasseh Awone Azuri produced. It showed that for over a year, they were not investigating the case. They started investigating the case when after Oforiatta had fled, 29th of January 2025. By then, Oforiatta had left somewhere around 5th of January 2025.
Right.
So about 25 or 24 days after Oforiatta left, that was when they started investigating the case. Please. So this matter is serious. It's serious. The Supreme Court,
Okay, Martin Kpebu, thank you very much. He's a lawyer there giving us the.
Whenever I say PENDREAM TV, PENDREAM TV, dear, I see them, yopo.